All right. Hello, YouTube. On this early Sunday morning, I just seen a report where Mike Tyson claimed that he almost died in this past June. So remember the ulcer flare up and that incident. Well, it turns out, and I believe Tyson 100% on this, that his situation was way worse. He had, I believe it said, 8 blood transfusions. And he goes on to say that he won even though he didn't win the fight, and that he came from near death in this past June. And his family got to see him go toe to toe for the 8 round fight. So he won for himself. So a lot of respect for that. He needed to prove something to himself, obviously. Now, we can't continue to have fights like this. I know that what everybody is saying is always not what to do. Always not what to do. This sport, people say, well, Jake Paul's brought interest into the sport. That interest that he's brought into the sport would not be necessary if, and there's a lot of interest in the sport, just not in America. And we in America speak in American terms. And I get that, and I appreciate that. And we're stuck right now in a country outside of the U.S. that we don't want to be in, and we're desperately trying to get back to the U.S. So I get that. We are exceptional. Our country is exceptional. But boxing's very popular all through East and Western Europe and throughout the world. And it's popular in the U.S. It's just we're not putting forth fighters to... Let me explain it this way. How interesting is it when you only have one fight a year out of a popular fighter, and 40% of the time, one of those fighters is going to take a knee and quit. One of those fighters not going to come off the stool. We don't have good fighting in the U.S. because we're choosing not to have good fighting. We are looking to greed, notoriety, and dollar bills. And we're not looking at pride, will, and grit any longer. All these fighters, they're out here, they're looking for something like that snack program. There's 50 other programs out there. Everybody's trying to get an edge on each other. Everybody's doing fuddy-duddy with ring sizes today. Everything from ring sizes to gloves to fudging on weights and things like that. We need to bring this sport back. We need to be weighing these fighters in the morning of the fight. The morning of the fight, where they only have hours to pull it together and get in the ring. Some of these guys, they have 3-4 days to put on all this weight, and they're not fighting at the weights that they were weighed at. And one guy's naturally bigger than another guy, and we're not seeing real boxing. It's not real no more. It's as effed up as the movies are. And there's no movies today. I'm a horror movie buff, for example. I like horror movies. There's nothing out there today. There's nothing. there's remakes, and the remakes, they go mess up. You know, they have to put DEI, stupid stuff in there. It's always got to be just a bunch of junk that the story relates around to. And that's no good. And you can look at the remake of Wrong Turn and what they turned that into, a political movie. A Wrong Turn, the first one was pretty good. It was scary to me. And so that's what, but the last one, the remake of the original, didn't even have none of that in it. It was a political thing. And we've turned boxing into that. We have no good movies, no good music. Look at music. You know, you got that idiot string bean white girl. You got Beyonce. You got 2 or 3 other people shake and wobble around. It's just a spectacle. There's no deep thought, no grit, no backbone in anything anymore. Everything's greed, spectacle, and how crazy can I do this? I'm going to tell you all something, and you all need to listen to this old man. If we had hard-hitting, ass-kicking, grit fighters, backboned, that were loyal to the sport and loved the sport that they performed, we wouldn't need a lot of hoopla, and there wouldn't need to be all this acting like damn fools to sell tickets for pay-per-views. It would be an exciting event. Now, it's a bunch of clowns and lunatics seeing who can wear the most intersex looking glasses or clothes, and who can yell and offend the other one the greatest. And then the tickets are sold, and then everybody's walking away going, this is awful. And it is awful. So I say, let's get back to real boxing, getting some real sluggers back in the fray, getting some George Foremans, getting some Mike Tysons, getting some Larry Holmes, getting some exciting fighters back in, because fighting in America is always going to go the way of the heavyweight division. And right now we've got two or three lower weight classes that we kind of control, and nobody's really interested in it. Yet, you know, they're not interested in the fight part of it, because all of us keep doing the same thing. After the fight, we're all worked up, the hoopla, the crazy soap opera acting, bad acting, and then we have the fight, and the fight sucks, and we wonder why. And it's because we're not demanding good boxing. So that's my take on this Sunday morning on the boxing. Nobody, and I mean nobody, should be jumping on Mike Tyson. However, we got to get away from this. We've got to get away from this. That any boxing sanctioning body would sanction a 58-year-old man against a 27-year-old clown. And it is what it is. I don't want to hear it. All these people saying, well, he's a good boxer. No, he's not. That Paul boy ain't a good boxer. As a matter of fact, we don't have any good, really good. We got a couple of decent ones, maybe 2 decent, but we do not have any good heavyweight boxers that are U.S. born and bred. We just don't have it. And we've got to demand better boxing. And if we demand it, we'll get it. These promoters are just going to go for the greed. These clowns you got running around today are just going to go for the greed. And I'm not saying that fighters should fight for nothing. But I am telling you, these fighters could even make way more money if we had a group of consistent butt kicking, serious boxers that would never take a knee and they would get in the ring and fight like hell. And that's what boxing means.